That's the amazing thing for us to have started on the web and now at our wonderfully perfect home at Sci-Fi Channel. But it's just given us such a great fan base, and the fans have been amazing and really supportive so far, and you know, hopefully it's just going to grow.
And at Comic-Con this year, what was really funny, I think I said this in the thing, we're sitting there with this packed room full of people. They're all asking questions about Sanctuary, and I turned to Michael and I said, "You realize our show's not on the air yet, right?" It's like this room full of people who love the show that they'd never seen yet.
And there was creative pressure because the web series we're very proud of. I mean, it was a real, you know, we did it in such record time, and we formed our own little visual effects company and web company. You know, it was all kind of by the seat of our pants. And we wanted to be true to the spirit of that. And the great thing about Sci-Fi was that they said, look, we want this to be the bigger, better, rebooted version, but we also don't want to like make fundamental changes. We just want to take what's there and expand it for, you know, so it can compete with network shows. And so that was great news to us because we said, look, they're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're just trying to like really make it a bigger, cooler wheel. And so we feel that, I feel completely confident that anyone who's a real fan of the webisodes will adore the network, the broadcast version, because it really is just an inflated, deeper, you know, version of it. There you go.
Thank you.
Amanda, let me ask you, talk about Dr. Helen Magnus, and she's clearly got some sort of secret about immortality, which I'm assuming will take us a while to sort of find out why she is 157 years old. Yeah. But you guys have set her, you know, she was born in the Victorian England, you know, Victorian era in England, and talk about how that informs the character, because with this immortality angle, you could have probably picked a lot of different, you know, locales, times, places where, you know, you could have had her come from. But talk about why the Victorian England thing is so big.
That's her base, and it absolutely informs this character. Victorian era England, Victorian era in and of itself, was an era of great change. We were pushing the boundaries of science and society and technology. Everything was changing, and Helen was one of those people who was at the forefront of that. Being that she was a woman, she was often disregarded, and so she pushed the envelope. She pushed what women were allowed to do in that time, and she found herself amongst a group of very brilliant men, like-minded thinkers and scientists, and said, let's see what we can do. And we find out in an episode called The Five coming up, which tells you exactly why she's as old as she is and who else is involved in this sort of secret society. And what the era does is it informs a lot of her eccentricities. She, for example, will only drink tea, and she clings to certain values and certain language that's so important to her. And it informs a lot of her eccentricity. But what it also does is it tells you that here's a woman who's lived 157 years. She has seen everyone she's ever cared about, her lovers and her friends, grow old and die. She's been with and in the company of the greatest politicians in the world, writers, artists, poets, and she's watched these brilliant minds, these geniuses, these forward thinkers leave this plane. And so at the heart of Helen is this swing of incredible loneliness, this gravitas that informs, again, so much of who she is. And so she's very protective of her heart, ideally hugely compassionate, and again, a great scientist, but wow, she's got this depth that, as an actress, is just an astounding thing to explore.